When New Mexico became a state in 1912, the state constitution ensured that qualified citizens could not be kept from voting or sitting on a jury simply because they did not speak English. The founders who wrote that law were most likely thinking about the state's majority of Spanish-speaking citizens. But today the courts need interpreters not just for Spanish, they also need interpreters for Vietnamese, Chinese, Arabic, Navajo, and American Sign Language. However, while there is a need for interpreters, there hasn't been a cohesive program that can provide people with the necessary technical skills to interpret. That is, not until now. A new program to comprehensively train interpreters called the New Mexico Center for Language Access starts operation in a couple of weeks. In order to qualify for the program, a person must already be bilingual. But being bilingual is just the beginning. Paula Cosello, a professor at UNM, is the director of the new program. She told us that an interpreter needs a very specialized set of skills.
It's a very, very hard and intense task. So the interpreter needs to have a whole set of skills and tools to be able to perform simultaneous interpreting. And in the case of consecutive interpreting, we need to add a memory component to it. And also you need to add the terminology, because some people might be able to interpret in a non-specialized setting. But when we are talking about specialized and technical terminology, that is a very, very important component of the profession.
The Center for Language Access will train interpreters to handle the technical language of the courts, state agencies, and medical facilities. There will also be a shorter program to train bilingual people to interpret informally at their place of business. Director Paula Cosello says that with its online component, the Center for Language Access is the first program of its kind in the country. She explains that students will learn different sets of interpreting skills.
Translation is written, interpreting is oral. Within interpreting, we find three modes of interpreting, and that is simultaneous interpreting. Basically, when a person is speaking and the interpreter is interpreting that message at the same time. And then we have consecutive interpreting, where the speaker will speak and the interpreter will interpret the message after the speaker has completed his speech. And then we have sight translation, which is basically the oral rendition of a written document.
One of the program organizers, Arthur Pepin, the director of the New Mexico Administrative Office of the Courts, says the program has a dual purpose. Not only do state offices, medical centers, and courts get access to a needed service, but bilingual New Mexicans will be able to leverage their language skills into a professional career.
There are many people who interact with executive agencies, and this will provide them with somebody who's been through an academic program who can communicate with those people in ways that are effective. And if, at least from the court's perspective, we're going to try to compensate people for doing exactly that once they've been through the program, and we're encouraging our agency partners to do that as well, so that we recognize not just, thank you, you're doing a beneficial service for the agency, but it's important enough that you get a monetary compensation in recognition of the value of that service to those, our agency partners.
Fees for the program range from $1,500 to $2,500. Financial aid is available. No high school or college degree is necessary to qualify for the program. However, a person must be bilingual and write a 250-word essay in 2 languages. This is Abigail Adler, KSFR News.